Blessed be everyone. Welcome to my YouTube channel. Today we're talking about desire and magic and going into a little bit about desire versus whims versus knowing what it is that you truly want and how it all applies to the magical path and some of the myths about desire being a bad thing. But before we dive in, my name is Sandra. I am the author of Crafting Your Wiccan Path. If you want to know more about Wicca and witchcraft, tarot, shadow work, and of course magic, hit that subscribe button and the notification bell so that you don't miss any videos. If you want to become a really great spellcaster and get to understand how important knowing what your desire is and what's motivating your desire for successful spell work, then download my free PDF. It's called the Spellcaster Checklist, and there's a link in the description field below this video. That checklist will give you an understanding of some of the really important aspects of spellcasting that aren't really emphasized enough in most spell books, and a checklist to check off that you've thought about these things and that you've done these things when you're preparing for your spell. So once again, link in the description field below this video. So when it comes to desire, in a lot of spiritual traditions, desire is often portrayed as being a very negative thing. It's a bad thing. It's something you shouldn't want. It's something you should try to avoid, something you should try to go against. But coming more from a magical perspective and maybe a little bit more from a positive spiritual point of view, desire certainly can be the whims of the ego, but it can also be your higher self, your true self, trying to point you in a particular direction for your spiritual growth, for experience, and to bring more joy and more happiness and more connection into your life. So desire can be a very positive motivation force, and it can also be that connection to your true self, an understanding that if you do have a desire to learn a certain thing or go to a certain place or do a certain thing in life, like a certain type of career, or do some creative things in your life, that it might be a way that you're, one, channeling your skills into the world and also experiencing your creative energy. Desire is connected to the sacral chakra, so that's the second chakra, and that's a chakra that is often really misunderstood because it's connected to desire and also because it's connected to emotions, which are also misunderstood. Desire manifests through emotion. We don't really know we have a desire unless we're feeling something, and our feelings are our guidance system. So understand that desire can be guidance as well. Now, sometimes desire can come out of fear. It can come out of thinking that you have to have a certain thing or be a certain way, for sure. So it can be something that's coming from a place of fear or a place of ego. But when you're walking the magical path and you're wanting to know thyself and you're tuning into your intuition and your higher guidance, then desire is going to be something that can lead you to the next thing for you. It could be a sign of readiness for the next thing, like for spiritual growth, for example, or pushing yourself in and going the extra distance with something, or getting out of your comfort zone with something. It can push you towards maybe doing things that you'd love to do and you know would be very fulfilling, but you're too scared or you don't have enough confidence to actually do it. And so the desire is there trying to push you through those comfort zones and to take you to the next level of you being the next better version of yourself and challenging you. They definitely can bring challenges because some desires are difficult to obtain, and that's one of the reasons why we use magic. The whole idea of desire is important to witches, of course, because we need desire in order to do magic. We have to have a reason for doing a spell. Otherwise, we wouldn't be doing a spell. So understanding our desires and where they're coming from and what's motivating them is important for the success of our spell work. And not just as in it makes you better at manifesting something, it just also helps you manifest what it is you really want, as opposed to what it is that you think you want. So when it comes to understanding your desires and getting clear about your desires, do a lot of reflection. If you're wanting certain things to change in your life and you're wanting to do magic to change these things in your life, then have a reflection as to what it is you're really trying to achieve with your magic. The most obvious thing is you want the thing, or you want the situation or the change or the move or whatever it is that you're doing the magic for. But the real underlying desire is usually emotional in nature. It's usually because you want to feel something. And so in the having of what it is you're casting for, or the banishing of what it is that you may be doing, if you're doing protection magic or something, it's the desire to feel that end result. So understanding your feelings and what the motivation is for doing something on a feeling level helps you know yourself more. It helps you know how you're motivated, and it also will help you understand your real need, what you're really, really desiring, and believing that that thing will bring it to you. And that's important. It's not about judging the desire, it's not about judging the thing, it's just about getting familiar with it so that you understand what it is. It's know thyself after all. So get clear about your desires, and a way that you can do that is through journaling, so writing down what it is you want, and ask yourself, what is it that I'm wanting from having this thing or doing this thing or banishing this thing? What is it that I want? You can ask yourself why questions, but why isn't the best way to ask a question about your motivation for something. It's a lot less confrontational to ask yourself, what is it that I want to experience from having this thing? What is it about this thing or this situation that I believe is going to bring me something? What is that something I'm looking for in this situation? So for example, if you're looking to move, relocate, and you'd like to relocate in a particular place, what is it about that place that you're drawn to? What is it that you feel or believe that you're going to feel and experience by living in that place? How is that going to feel different to how or where you're living now? And just get to understand what it is about that place that's drawing you to that place, if you know exactly where that's going to be. It might be because you prefer to live in the forest, so you want to go somewhere where there's a lot of places to walk. You might want to go somewhere where there's the ocean or a lake, or you might want to just go into a better neighborhood where there's less crime and you feel safe. Just knowing why it is, and asking yourself, what is it about this thing that attracts me or makes me think I want it? Why do I want it? What is it about this thing? And allow yourself to just write down all of those things, everything that you're wanting from this desire. I talk about this in detail in my course, The Witch's Guide to Magic, which is my mini course on magic, where I teach you how to get clear about your intentions and how to cast successful spells for love and romance, and for money and prosperity, success, protection and defense magic, healing and wellness magic. And this whole beginning part of your spell casting, where you're really thinking about what it is you want and why you want it, is very important so that you're casting for the right thing. You don't want to be casting for something you don't want. Often that brings results that you don't really get the results if you're casting with something you don't want, or you get what it is that you don't want and it turns out to be not a very good thing. So get clear on what your desire is. And understanding too that there's nothing wrong with having that desire. It's something that we're born with so that we can create. If we didn't have desire to do anything or have anything, we wouldn't create anything. We would just be sitting around probably meditating or something that where we're not actually physically doing anything or physically creating anything. And our human nature is to create and to do things. So following desire is a way of you expressing your creativity in the world and your divine creativity in the world as a divine being and a spirit expressing itself and experiencing itself through you. So the desire is a very positive thing from a magical perspective. Now, when it comes to casting for something you desire, you may find that there's obstacles in the way. Those obstacles are often due to fears and concerns, like, do you think you could have it? Do you deserve it? All of those sorts of beliefs. And also, what's interesting about magic is that, and desire, is that your desire can be pushing you through your comfort zones. And I mentioned this earlier, that often people won't really act on a true desire because of fear of what they're going to have to do in order to get to that desire, or a belief that it just couldn't happen to you, it's not possible for you. And what the desire is doing is it's challenging you to push through your comfort zone. So if you have the desire to go beyond where you are now in some way that's positive for you, don't let your fear or your self-doubt get in the way of that. Even if you have no concept of how you're going to get from A to B, still do work on it, still start doing magic on it, because the magic is what creates the in-between bit. It's what gets you from A to B. Now, the magic may challenge you too. You may have to do things that you don't find comfortable, like you might have to pick up a telephone and call somebody, or you might have to go somewhere and meet people. The desire, if it's one that is challenging, the magic will often bring things that you may be challenged by, and so it's an opportunity then to do that work on yourself to become that person who has that thing or does that thing. You have to become what it is that you have to become the person that has and does what you're doing the magic for. You have to be that person. It's like an identity shift. You have to shift into the person who experiences those things and does those things. And that's something that I talk about in The Witch's Guide to Magic as well. So get clear on your desires. Don't feel bad about having desires for grand things. There's nothing wrong with that. If you find deep down inside that the reason for it is because you want to do things with it, you might desire to have a lot of money because what you'd like to do with that money. You may want to open up some kind of retreat center, or you might want to do various different things with that money that's really positive for yourself and for other people. So don't hold yourself back when it comes to desires. Get to know them because they're really important for your happiness and also for your magic. So if you do want to learn spellcasting with me, that short course, The Witch's Guide to Magic, there's a link in the description field below this video. And if you like the video, hit the like button, share it with your friends. Don't forget to subscribe. My name is Sandra, and I'll see you on the next video. Blessed be.